Hi guys, I'm Shreya and this is Decoding Code. In this video, we're going to be talking about polymorphism in Java, and this will be kind of like a part 2 to my object-oriented programming kind of like series. And so let's just get right into it. So I'll provide like explanations and examples for both types in Java, and I'll also kind of explain just polymorphism in general. So polymorphism, poly kind of means like many, and morphism kind of means forms or types. So polymorphism means many forms or many types of anything. So that can apply to real life, but in this case we're applying it to object-oriented programming. In Java, there are two types of polymorphism. That's method overloading and method overriding. So the first one that we're going to get into is method overriding. So this kind of jumps off of inheritance. So in my previous video, if you haven't gone and watched that, then feel free to do so because this might make a lot more sense if you already know that. Jumping off of inheritance, we have this sort of parent-child relationship where the child inherits methods from the parent. Now the child can actually override these methods in that child class. And what it can do is kind of create the exact same name and parameters, whatever it wants, and just maybe specify towards that certain class. Then that method will be prioritized over the one from the parent. I have an example here. So I have this parent class water, and I have this child class river. This is the quality rating, and it's just generally for water. I'm taking the quality and rating it. So for river, I have the same quality rating. You see it's the same name, no parameters, just like the other one from the parent. But what we're doing here is we're actually adding an element of like being careful near the fast waters and stuff like that. So that is an example of polymorphism because it's creating this other form of this method in the child class. And now we are prioritizing this one over the one from water. If we did make an object of water though, we could just access the one that we made in water, but if we made an object of this child class, we could access this one. So it's the same method, but two different forms. Now let's get into the second one, and the second kind of form of polymorphism in Java is method overloading. Now this doesn't really have much to do with inheritance because it's just one class, and basically what this is that you can have kind of the same name like this, but different forms in the same class. And how you do this is that each one can be kind of different for whatever you need, but the way that you would distinguish between these methods when you're kind of using them and when the computer can distinguish is through the parameters. So if we look at water, I have an example here, and my example is I have this public integer gallons, which is taking, see I have this integer cups up here, so it's just taking that cups, dividing it by 16, and then that makes the gallons. And then gallons, I have the same kind of method, but it's in a different form. So it's still an integer, and we have gallons, but this one has a parameter of integer ounces. So now instead of getting gallons from the cups, I'm actually going to get it from the ounces. So I'm returning ounces divided by 128 because 128 ounces is a gallon, and then that's what it does. So this is going to return the amount of gallons, but instead of taking it from cups, we're taking it from ounces. And so in this case, it's different because of this parameter, and it's taking integer ounces. So that's how it will decide, because if you create an object and then you put a parameter as an integer, then it'll see, oh, so we need to use this one instead of this one. And another way that you can distinguish is if one of them has like 2 parameters and another one has 3, then those two are different. It could also be different types of parameters. So you can have 3 for both, but if you wanted, you could do like integer, string, integer, and then the other one can be like integer, integer, integer. The parameters kind of determine what is kind of going on there. You can like make this a double, and then that could be different as well. So because this is, I actually want to do a double, because if I divide it by 128, it might be a double. So in inheritance test, this is where I actually use these. I'm actually going to create this example here. So I just kind of commented the rest out because I just want to see this. So I used like puddle.qualityrating, which is one of the other methods from water. And actually this is the one that I overrode in river. So you can see that working just fine with water. And also I'm going to use this puddle.gallons, and I can tell it's going to give me the gallons from the ounces, and this is probably going to be like 1.0 something because it's close to 128 ounces. It's going to get the gallons from the ounces instead of taking this as cups, because I gave it my parameter and I put that in. So if I run this, yeah, see, it's going to be like 1.0, and this is just the quality rating. It's saying don't drink that. But this is like 1.0078125. But so I'm sorry. Yeah. We can see that it took this method instead of that one because it could see that I have a parameter here that's not here for this one. And yeah, that's method overloading. These are two different forms of gallons, and yeah, so you could do this with like adding. If you have like a method that's adding, but it's like two parameters and you're adding those together. You could also have another one that's adding with three parameters, adding those together. So it's pretty useful. And yeah, this was polymorphism in Java. Hopefully you liked the video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this for the rest of my series if you are interested in that. And I will see you guys again next week. Bye!